Hi you guys, it's Nikita Lene back with another video, and today we're talking about my 3-month anniversary of working as a brand new registered nurse and some of the things I've learned over these 3 months. Alright, so first and foremost, I have to say the number one thing that it should go without saying, but really you'd be surprised, and it's be humble and show appreciation. As a new nurse, we still bring a lot of value to the team. Even though you're brand spanking new, you still have value, but you have to understand humility, and you have to understand the fact that you need the people around you. You have to learn how to learn and grow as a new nurse. So if you come in with this attitude that you know everything, that you're better than other people, or you don't have the ability to learn from the people around you, I promise you, you will drown. When it comes down to it, people are going to look at you as the new nurse. They're going to try and get a feel for who you are. And if you come in with this stank attitude or this attitude that you don't need your coworkers, I guarantee you then they're going to just keep on going about their day, and they are not going to help you. And there's going to come plenty of times when you are going to need them. You're going to need to ask them for their, nursing opinion on something, or you're going to need their help with your patient. And if you came in from day one with a bad attitude, they are not going to help you, and they're not required to help you all the time, So you definitely have to show humility. You have to be humble. You have to be kind to the people around you. I'm not saying you have to kiss everyone's butt, but you have to understand that as a new nurse, you kind of need the people around you, and you need to come in with an open heart and an open mind to learning from all the people around you. Now, part of this is also showing appreciation. There are going to be so many times when your coworkers take, the extra step to help you with something or to teach you something, and you really have to show appreciation to them. Make sure that they know that you are being genuine when you say, "Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate your help working on this project. Thank you for helping me clean my patient up," whatever the case may be. Because once again, they don't have to go that extra mile to help you with certain things. So when they do take the time out of their busy day to help you with something, you definitely have to make sure that they know that they are appreciated. And that goes the same with your techs. If you come in with this attitude like, "I'm a nurse and I'm better than you," and you have your nose in the air, I guarantee you're gonna have a hard time with your techs. And there's a lot of times when your techs are gonna save your butt. They are going to be the people there helping you out when all the other nurses are super duper busy. They're gonna be the ones who can teach you so many things that you don't already know, especially if you've never worked as a tech prior to being a nurse. So, you definitely have to show appreciation to your techs, because there are gonna be so many times when you need them, just period, point blank. So do not walk in the door on your first day of your brand new nursing job thinking that you are up here and you're better than anybody. Show humility, show appreciation every step of the way, and I guarantee you it'll go a long way. You're gonna have coworkers who want to work with you, coworkers who appreciate you and who are willing to help you out when you really need them, because they know that you are actually humble and that you actually genuinely appreciate the things that they do for you, and it will go a long way. Now, the next thing kind of goes along with that same humility, and that is listen to your techs and learn from them. Now, me, myself, I did not work as a tech prior to becoming a nurse. I worked as an administrative technician, and I worked in more of an outpatient facility. So this is kind of my first time working in this type of environment other than clinicals. We definitely have a couple of techs that work with us that I like to call OG techs. They have been med techs or CNAs for such a long time, and they know the scoop. They know the tips and the tricks to make things go by faster, to get stuff done easier, more efficient ways to get things done. So when I tell you, if you come in with an attitude that you can learn from everyone, there's so much that you can learn from your techs. But if you come in with your nose in the air thinking you're better than everybody else, I guarantee you your techs are they're gonna laugh at you. They're not gonna wanna go the extra mile to help you out. For us, when I work in the ICU, our ICU does not have med techs at all. So just my time of working on the med surg floor, I've learned so much from my techs, just different tricks and how to get stuff done more efficiently, so that when I do float in the ICU, it makes my shift that much easier. I know the easiest way to turn my patient who has a trach and they're connected to event or something like that. I know just a bunch of different things that I've learned along the way that they have shown me that makes my shift easier, that makes dealing with my patients easier and more efficient. So the next thing that I learned is creating a routine that works for you. And that routine for me, it's a little bit different if I'm working in the ICU versus if I'm working on the med-surg floor, because the responsibilities are different and the amount of tasks that I have to get done are different. But I have a routine for either or. So when I come in and get my assignment in the morning, I can grab my report sheet and my assignment sheet that I made for myself, and I know what I have to do for the day, and I have a routine that works for me. So building a routine that works for you is gonna take time. It's trial and error. You're gonna have to be observant, kind of watch the way some of your other coworkers do things, and you can kind of take little tips and tricks and different ideas that they do, or different ways that certain coworkers do things, and incorporate it into your own routine and make it work for you. For me, I know that I'm a very task oriented as a brand new nurse. I don't want to miss anything. So I had to create a checklist of everything that I have to get done by the end of my shift. And then eventually I took that and I put it into a kind of like a schedule that worked for me. So now I'm at the point where if I glance up at the clock and I know it's 11 o'clock, I know that it's time for me to do a certain thing at 11 o'clock. Or I know that I usually go to lunch at 3:30. When I come back, I do wound care and I do my evening meds, and then I do less rounds. But that's my routine that works best for me. So you really have to find what works best for you. You don't want to feel rushed, but you also have to learn how to manage your time so that you're not staying late every day, so that you're not missing anything, and that you're not forgetting to do anything or leaving stuff for the next shift to have to do. And that just takes time. So be patient with yourself and just continue to be flexible and continue to work on it day by day. Creating this routine, it's gonna take time. Try not to beat yourself up. Don't be too super critical on yourself. You have your preceptor there for a reason, and your preceptor is going to be there to help give you that feedback, to help save you on your days when you're drowning, because trust me, we all have days where we think we got it and we tell our preceptor, oh no, I'm good, I got this. And before you know it, by 4:30, you're absolutely drowning and you're super behind on meds, or you still have to do wound care, or whatever the case may be. But be patient with yourself. It's going to take time. Your preceptor did not get there overnight, and you won't either. But eventually you will have a routine that works for you. Okay, one of the next things that I learned is advocating for yourself. This is so incredibly important, because whenever you're new in an organization or a department or a section or whatever the case may be, they kind of look at you as fresh meat, and people are going to try you. I don't know any other way to say it. They're going to try you. And this kind of goes along the lines of like initiation or bullying, even in some places. But you really have to learn how to stand your ground and advocate for yourself. There are going to be older nurses that have worked at that hospital for such a long time, and they feel like things should be done their way, and they may try and pressure you into doing things a certain way, or they may try and pressure you into not doing things the way that you want to do them, because they feel like their way is better. So you really have to learn how to advocate for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself, and you have to you got to learn how to speak your mind, say it in a professional way, but you have to say it. And don't let your coworkers walk all over you, because trust me, honey, they will try. But you're going to have to learn how to stand up for yourself, speak your mind, say what's on your mind, say what you need to say, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. As a new nurse and as a new employee, they're going to try and walk all over you. And the second you allow it to happen, it's going to continue to happen. All it takes is one coworker to see that they can take advantage of you, and someone else to see that situation, and then they're going to try you, and then someone else is going to try you. So you really have to learn how to advocate for yourself. If there's a situation that you feel is not right, let's say, for example, a night nurse who just left a whole long list of things for you to do, and you're like, why didn't you get this done on your shift? Don't just take all of that stuff and feel like it's your responsibility and you have to do it. You do not have to do all of that stuff. And if there's ever a moment where you feel like you're being taken advantage of, take that up to the staff nurse, or talk to that person about it and ask them, why was this not done? Why are you always leaving me stuff to do? Now, we all have moments where we can't get everything done in our shift, but if you see consistently that there's one coworker who never gets their stuff done on night shift or never gets their stuff done on day shift, and they're always leaving stuff for you, then that means that they may be taking advantage of you. They may be lazy. Don't allow stuff like that to happen. You're gonna have to learn how to say what's on your mind, how to advocate for yourself, or it's going to continue to happen and you're going to be the pushover nurse on the floor. So always, always, always advocate for yourself. Say what you need to say, stand up for yourself, and don't allow people to walk all over you. So the next thing is kind of along the same lines, but it's for your patients. It's advocating for your patients. There are going to be so many times when, other nurses or even the doctors are not going to take you serious. They're going to look at you like, oh, you're just a new nurse, you're over-exaggerating the situation, or you're freaking out over nothing. But I guarantee you that there are going to be times when your patient really, really needs you to advocate for them. And even as a brand new nurse, I've had this happen before, where there was one particular patient, I had to call the doctor 6 times. And I couldn't put my finger on what was going on with the patient, but I knew that something wasn't right. And every time I called, I would, report new labs to the doctor or change of condition to the doctor. And the doctor was super nonchalant about the situation. And I literally had a knot in my stomach. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even drink my coffee. I couldn't do anything because it just wasn't sitting right with me. Something wasn't right in that situation. And finally, by the 6th time I called the doctor, I called and said, hey, it's me again. I think the patient is septic. And the doctor paused, and I thought he was going to blow me off again. He said, you know what, Nikita, I think you're right. And then he gave me a long list of orders of what I needed to get done for this patient. And sure enough, I was right. But if you feel, down in your gut, something's not right, you need to advocate for your patient. And don't ever let those doctors just blow you off. Don't ever let other nurses just blow you off. If you feel like something's not right, you have to learn how to communicate that to the people around you. And you have to just continue to advocate for your patient, because you never know, you may be that voice of reason, the one person who catches something that can change that patient's outcomes. So always, always, always advocate for your patient as strongly as you possibly can. So the next thing I have learned is network, 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 honey. Networking is always important in the medical field because you need the people around you, period, point blank. And so if you take the time your first couple of weeks in the hospital to really talk to people, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm the new girl. I work on the med-surg floor. Just introduce yourself to as many people as you can. Shake hands, smile, be friendly and kind. It can go a long way. At the end of the day, you're going to need the people around you. And if you come in with this positive, upbeat attitude and you're trying your best to be, humble, like we talked about in the beginning, and you get to know your coworkers, you never know how far that can take you. That's within the hospital. People will be more willing to go out of their way and help you, but it also works with outside of the hospital. For example, right now, I know as brand new nurses, we're just focused on getting our feet under us and getting used to our current jobs and learning as much as we can at our current jobs. We're not even trying to think about having second and third jobs. But there are plenty of hospitals that have PRN positions and holiday positions coming up soon. And if you have a particular coworker who enjoys working with you, they see how great you are, even as a new nurse. If they just so happen to mention, oh yeah, I work at this hospital over there, and they have PRN positions open, that could be the ultimate hookup right there. So make sure you get out there, get to know the people you're working with on a daily basis, be kind, be genuinely helpful to them, because you never know when that coworker that works beside you, whenever you float to the ICU, could be the one who helps you get a job at your dream hospital that you've always wanted to work at. So keep things like that in mind. One thing that I've noticed as the new nurse in the facility is that a lot of my coworkers have kind of gotten to know me over the last couple of weeks. So when it comes time for me to ask for help for a certain situation, they recognize that I'm willing to ask questions, I'm willing to learn, I'm kind and I'm friendly, and I have already built this professional relationship with them right out the gate. So they're more willing to help me when it comes to certain things. So it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, having a positive, humble attitude, making sure you show appreciation when people help you, and networking everywhere in your facility. This means even if when your patient goes down to radiology, you're kind to the people down in radiology, because you never know when you're going to need their help with something too. So make sure that you are extending a hand, introducing yourself to everybody. I know myself, I'm not the greatest when it comes to memorizing names and everything like that, but I try and make sure that I give everyone a nice firm handshake. I look them in the eyes and introduce myself. And it goes a long way. Your coworkers are going to be more willing to help you. They're going to recognize you as the kind and nice person, the new person that's working on the second floor, the third floor, wherever. They're going to remember you, and they're going to be more willing to go that extra mile to help you, because they know that you are this kind person just right out the gate. So the seventh, the last, and the most important tip or thing that I've learned in my time of being a registered nurse so far is to cover your own ass and cover your license. There are going to be so many times where your coworkers are going to try and convince you, oh, you can do this way, you could take this shortcut, and it's not that big of a deal. But trust me when I say your license is your license, and you have to protect it by any means possible. Do not take shortcuts when it comes to certain things that you shouldn't be taking shortcuts on. Do not take shortcuts, because it will come back to bite you in the ass. And at the end of the day, nobody is going to stand there and be like, oh yeah, I told her to do it. Like, no. And their license is not going to be on the line for a mistake that you made. So you really have to cover your license. And this means that sometimes you're going to have to do things the long way. Sometimes it's going to take longer to get stuff done, but you know that you're getting it done right. Don't ever take the word of somebody else because somebody else said that there's an order for this or whatever the case may be. You have to go back and verify things for yourself. You have to verify and make sure that it's done right. And sometimes you have to go back and verify that whatever the policy is. Unfortunately, a lot of nurses, the OG nurses that I talk about in my videos, they've been there for such a long time that they just do things a certain way. And that's on them. But you have to understand as a new nurse that you're going to have to look at the policy, because they're going to tell you something and it's not going to be the right way. It's not going to be what the policy says. It's going to be the way that they do it. So you're going to have to really learn how to CYA, CYL, cover your ass and cover your license, because nobody else is going to stand there and advocate for you and say, oh no, take my license instead of hers. Like, no. It is your license. You busted your butt for this license. Do not let it get taken away for something so stupid. Something that if you would have taken the longer way, or you would have looked up the policy or taken the extra 5 to 10 minutes to do it right, then you wouldn't be in a sticky situation. So always think about that. And the same goes for documenting. Whenever you're documenting, it's really easy to document the bare minimum and, click. But make sure that when you're documenting, you're going the extra step to document everything you see, everything you hear. If you have any questions about something, you can always ask someone, hey, I think I hear crackles. Can you take a listen for me? Can you verify with me or listen with me? But make sure that you document everything, because at the end of the day, if there's some lawsuit that happens and they pull you in, it's once again your license that's on the line. So make sure that you CYA and CYL. All right, y'all. So that's the gist of it. Those are the primary things that I've learned and experienced over my first 3 months as a nurse. I feel like I've learned a lot. I have grown a lot in this 3 months. I'm definitely starting to feel more confident as a new nurse, and I'm really excited to see what's to come in the future. I appreciate you guys supporting me during my journey, And for all the new nurses or all the nurses in general that are watching this, comment down below how long you've been a nurse and something that you learned in your first months of being a nurse that have stuck with you through your career. Thanks again for watching, you guys.